In Part 6 of The Age of Deceit, I concentrated on deception by redefinition. In that instance, I focused on the redefinition of the word church and its knock-on effect on how many view the body of Christ today. In this session, I will explore the impact of redefinition as it is revealed through objectification. The term objectification means treating people like tools or toys as if they had no feelings, opinions, or rights of their own. The Graduate School of Stanford Business published an article dealing with the topic of the power and the objectification of social targets. The article states objectification has been defined historically as a process of subjugation whereby people, like objects, are treated as a means to an end. The authors hypothesized that objectification is a response to social power that involves approaching useful social targets regardless of the value of their other human qualities. Throughout the sad history of mankind, objectification has been how civilizations have justified war, slavery, and subjugation of the masses. Objectification is a key tool in motivating combatants in a conflict to kill each other. Characterization of your enemy makes killing them easier when all you are doing is terminating an inanimate object of little or no value. History has been marred with unforgettable genocide and war crimes. Among the most memorable acts of crime in the 20th century was the Holocaust that killed more than 6 million Jews in Europe, the crimes during the Kosovo War, and the killings in Rwanda. The list goes on and on. This is simply accomplished by convincing the troops on your side that their enemy is a heartless and hostile force that must be neutralized at any cost. Pragmatically driven situational ethics becomes the guiding principle behind this key component in establishing their mindset to allow the soldiers to block out any compassion for their enemy. Name-calling is not just child's play on the school playground. It has always been a mainstream military strategy. In the American War for Independence, the British called the rebel troops Yankees, and the revolutionaries called the British troops Limeys. During the Second World War, the Allied soldiers called the Germans Krauts and the Japanese Japs. When Jesus was giving his disciples an insider briefing of the end-time scenario, he told them that the signs of the end would be that nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. The term translated nations is from the Greek word ethnos, from which we get our English word ethnic, as relating to large groups of people classed according to common racial, national, tribal, religious, linguistic, or cultural origins or background. The term translated kingdom is from the Greek word basileia, meaning royal power, kingship, dominion, or rule, which in summary means ideology. Therefore, the subdivision of the world in the end times will not necessarily be according to the national borders, but will quite likely be along the lines of ethnic and ideological divisions within all humanity. Once the mindset of objectification by characterization has been established, it is an easy step toward villainization of those you deem to be a threat to you. Therefore, these things are not only inanimate objects, but they present a clear and present danger that must be eliminated. Here we see the power of propaganda that sets in motion the wheels of fear that drive hatred to its ultimate solution. In the dystopian novel 1984, we are shown that Big Brother, the ruling class, uses hate to control the people of Oceania. 2 minutes of hate is a daily ritual in which party members express their hatred for enemies of the party. It's important in showing how the party compels orthodoxy and cohesiveness among its members. This all culminates in Hate Week, where the general public is whipped up into a mindless frenzy, which in turn enables the party elite to exercise their power over their fearful followers. Sadly, I believe we are seeing this type of polarizing behavior of hate being deployed by opposing ideologues who are using this powerful weapon to motivate their followers to silence and even crush their adversaries. In this type of caustic and combative environment, discussion and dialogue are discouraged, compromise is considered weakness, and tolerance is treated as treason. Along the way, the truth gets trampled in the stampede of the mindless masses. This is clearly in contradiction to the commandment of Jesus, who said, "But love ye your enemies, and do good, and lend, hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil." I believe the world currently has a pandemic that is far greater in impacting lives than any virus could ever achieve. The plague of pornography reaches into every home. Through the unlocked portals of the information age, this flood of filth is filling the minds of people with a dehumanizing characterization of humanity. People have become playthings. Self-satisfaction is emphasized over self-sacrifice. According to Covenant Eyes, a pornography watchdog, in 2015, worldwide, there were more than 2 billion web searches for porn. 20% of mobile device searches are for porn. Porn sites attract more visitors each month than Amazon, Netflix, and Twitter combined. 30% of internet content is porn. 88% of porn contains violence against women. 90% of boys and 60% of girls are exposed to internet porn by age 18. 56% of divorces involve one spouse, almost always the man, having an obsessive interest in online porn. On average, 28,258 users are watching pornography every second. These sickening statistics merely reflect the fruit of a disease that is at the root of this global pornographic pandemic, a disease that is caused and fed by an unrestrained appetite for personal pleasure at any cost. The propagation of explicit sexual behavior creates an unrealistic expectation that can never really be satisfied in a healthy, loving relationship. Thus, the addictive attraction of these portrayals enslaves their viewers with an insatiable desire that can only be fulfilled in the imaginary world of pornographic fantasy. Children are increasingly victimized by this perverted influence. The popular role models promoted by mainstream media for young people today presents an overly sexualized persona that promotes the abandonment of the biblical core values of purity and chastity. Therefore, we should not be surprised when we see children mimic this vile behavior. The history of child abuse in every culture under the sun is a matter of record. From infanticide to child sacrifice, the practice of child abuse was widely practiced by pagan cultures. So much so that when Moses is given the law for the children of Israel, he is told, "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord." Because of their size, dependency, and inability to successfully resist, children are the ideal target for self-seeking adults. They are sometimes treated as property or exist merely to serve the purposes of their more powerful benefactors. The perpetrators of this kind of child abuse offer many excuses for their despicable behavior. Sadly, it is the proverbial elephant in the room that is kept in the closet. The statistics concerning this are staggering. 40 million children are subjected to abuse each year. Child rape occurs every 2 minutes. 1 in 3 girls will be sexually molested before the age of 17. 1 in 6 boys will be sexually molested before the age of 17. Of 1.5 million runaways, 85% are fleeing some form of abuse. The objectification of children was condemned by Jesus when he said in Matthew chapter 19, "Suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven." In fact, in defense of children, Jesus stated in Matthew chapter 18, "But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea." I believe that all cultures can be judged by their treatment of the weakest in their society. I also believe that there is no more vulnerable human being than an unborn child. Here we see where objectification, characterization, and villainization come together to condemn a child without a voice in the matter. The medical profession has a part to play in this dastardly deed by creating a range of names to describe the developing baby that enables their dehumanization. According to modern medical terms, in the first 8 weeks after conception, the human baby is referred to as an embryo. After 8 weeks gestation, the baby is called a fetus until born. Then, given the laws in many countries today, if the mother sees the fetus as a threat to her existence or well-being, abortion is the answer. By simply using terms that avoid any reference to its humanity, the medical profession makes it easy to discount these products of conception as something less than fully human. According to WHO, every year in the world there are an estimated 40 to 50 million abortions. This corresponds to an approximately 125,000 abortions per day. Abortion is the most common surgical procedure performed for women in the United States. A review of the published reasons for abortion is most telling in my opinion. Based on research collected from 2008 through 2010, which asked women about their reasons for getting an abortion, the following were their responses. 40% said not financially prepared. 36% bad timing, not ready, unplanned. 31% partner-related reasons, including the relationship is bad or new, she doesn't want to be a single mother, her partner is not supportive, does not want a baby, is abusive, or is the wrong guy. 29% need to focus on her other children. 20% interferes with educational or vocational plans. 19% not emotionally or mentally prepared. 12% health-related reasons, including concern for her own health, the health of the fetus, use of prescription or non-prescription drugs, alcohol, or tobacco. 12% want a better life for a baby than she could provide. 7% not independent or mature enough for a baby. 5% influences from family or friends. 4% doesn't want a baby or to place the baby up for adoption. No matter which set of data I reviewed, the overwhelming sense of objectification seemed to provide the justification for killing the unborn child. Once you accept the dehumanization of the child, you can find a reason to excuse any crime against it. We are witnessing a global genocide that dwarfs all other massacres added together. Clearly, mainstream mankind has lost a sense of our marvelous humanity. The psalmist writes in Psalm 139, "For thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect. And in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. Oh, how precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O God! How great is the sum of them!" To stand against this tide of deceit, we need to revisit the biblical account of the creation of mankind and then refocus our attention on the foundational truth of all humanity's special place and purpose in the plan of God. The first book of the Bible gives us a view of mankind from God's perspective. Genesis chapter 1 reads, "And God said, Let us make man in our own image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them." When you accept that we are all created equal in the image of our Creator, then we should treat everyone, regardless of size or station, with the same honor and respect that our Creator intended. May God continue to bless you as you continue to study His Word.